Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Top 10 Songs. We are in the Treehouse with Jeff Young.
We are.
What's going on, my friend?
Witness.
Welcome back.
Welcome, everybody.
The Treehouse does exist, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about it a lot of times, but...
and we'll be live across the planet here...
a couple hours, right?
A couple hours from now, this evening.
Music Without Boundaries. So, and in fact, by the time you guys are watching this, Music Without Boundaries will already have happened, but that's okay. So go back and listen to the recording, right? So Jeff and I are going to be doing like a Halloween special, okay?
Spooky music.
Spooky music and conversation. So, but for this show, we're actually talking all about Yngwie Malmsteen. A guitar player that, God, the first time I heard him, it was like something completely out of left field. Took my world by storm. I'm sure the same for you. Mm-hmm. And I think along with like guys like Hendrix and Clapton and Eddie Van Halen, kind of revolutionized guitar playing for a number of years, and still doing it to this day. I don't know. Well, any extra thoughts on Yngwie before we get started on our top 10 songs?
Yeah, I'd say you have Hendrix as defining rock players, then you had Van Halen, and Randy Rhoads really kicked up the classical motifs in rock and heavy metal, and then Yngwie on the heels of that took it into the stratosphere. Pardon the pun, people.
Might as well show it. We're here, right?
Pardon the pun.
The Yngwie Strat, scallop necks and everything, right? Look at that. You can see that scallop neck. Look at that. It's a pretty sweet sounding guitar. I know that's your favorite guitar, right? Would you say that or your V? Yeah.
Indeed.
Yep.
They can hear it on my new single. We'll tell them how to hear that at the end of the episode.
Sounds good.
But, it sounds great in the studio. I used it on the Beatles Hendrixy track as
That's
well.
right, yeah. Very cool.
It came out great. So
we're
best
celebrating
Strat I've ever had.
Best Strat he's ever had. We can thank Yngwie for kind of revolutionizing that design, although I think other guys did the scallop thing before him, but I think Yngwie's the guy who kind of made it, kind of put it on the map for the most part. So today, what we've tasked ourselves with is going back over Yngwie's long catalog and coming up with our 10 favorite songs. And I don't know about you, but I've been listening to him since he first hit the scene, and those initial albums, really special to me still to this day. Mm-hmm. But he's got a lot of great songs all throughout the catalog, even though the catalog is at times spotty, but there's still a lot of great songs. And then you got the vocal pieces and the instrumental pieces, right? Mm-hmm. So what Jeff and I have done is we've each put together our 10 favorite tracks. I got a bunch of honorable mentions. I'm going to let Jeff kick it all off with his number 10. That's how we do things. We start off at number 10, work our way to number 1, and neither one of us have shared each other's list. So I have, other than one song, I have no idea what you've got on your list.
And we got a surprise for them sometime in the show. I'll let you lead the way on show and tell.
Yeah, you got it.
The clipboard is back, Pete.
I see that. Clipboard and the cell phone. That's how we're doing it today. So I'm trying not to look.
All right. I want this one to be a surprise because I got a lot of history with Yngwie, as you know.
Yep.
And so I really went deep, and I think I got some surprising choices
Cool. All right.
For the ladies and gentlemen out
Looking
the
forward to
radio
hearing.
land. So we starting with number 10. Is that what we're doing?
Number 10, yep.
All right.
Not number 9.
I'm going to come out with guns blazing right out of the gate and shock the folks with Yngwie Malmsteen and Doug Pennick from King's X on the little guitars. Yep. It's a Van Halen covers EP, and they did Light Up the Sky Cat, and it's blazing.
I don't think I ever heard that.
And Doug has the perfect voice to take the raw step one step farther, and Yngwie extends the solo twice as long, and it's really good. Great. And we got Billy Sheehan on bass.
Oh, that's kind of
an
all-star lineup.
And we got Vinnie Colaiuta on drums.
Oh, wow. Killer.
On some Van Halen. Other cats on that album: Doug Aldridge, Reb Beach, Brad Gillis, Bruce Kulick, Albert Lee, Jakey Lee, George Lynch, Yngwie, of course, Blue Saraceno, Dweezil Zappa. That's the Little Guitars Van Halen tribute album, and it's Light Up the Sky.
Very cool.
Highly
I'm
recommended.
gonna have to check that out. Very cool. No, I did not expect that. So let's see if this one's probably not going to be as mind blowing as that one, but I'm going to go to the Odyssey album.
Joe Lynn Turner on the vocal stylings.
And ironically, not a vocal tune for my number 10, but I'm going to go with Krakatoa. Which is
beautiful.
A blistering instrumental, I think.
It's a beautifully blistering instrumental.
Yeah, I dig it. If I remember correctly, I think that's the last song on that album. A great album, and I think probably his most underrated album, and I kind of wish him and Joe did more together, but was not meant to be. So, all right, now we're at number 9.
Number 9. Don't look, Pete.
I'm not looking.
I'm going also from Trilogy.
Yeah, I like Trilogy.
Clocking in at a gargantuan 7 minutes, 17 seconds. Trilogy Suite, Opus 5. I mean,
that's a good one. Yeah,
it goes through so many ebbs and flows, and it's got the shred. It's got just everything that priceless Yngwie should have.
I think you'll agree that on his first handful of albums, he really could do no wrong when it came to the instrumental songs.
Oh, yeah.
If you listen to some of the more recent albums, a lot of his instrumentals kind of sound the same, but man, those first 4, 5, or 6 albums, he just hit it out of the park every time. All right, for my number 9, I'm going to go to the Fire and Ice album. So
love it.
Yeah, early 90s there. So Dragonfly.
Yeah, I listened to that today.
Did you? That's got a lot of groove, that tune, huh? That's
honorable mentions.
That's kind of like a raunchy ass tune, because he was doing kind of a lot of that. He always kind of dipped into that kind of Hendrixy vibe on a lot of those late 80s, early 90s albums, and that was for me one of the first times he kind of started doing that. And it's a really
he cuts the Hendrixy vibe
really well, I think.
Quite well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll hold my tongue on that for a minute, but we'll get into that later.
All right, number 8. What do you got?
From this album, I think is hugely underrated, and I'm digging this singer on the album. His name's Mats Levin.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Mats.
Yep.
I love how his vocals sit with Yngwie, and even the video of the song that I'm not mentioning now, but it's also on that album later on my list, from Facing the Animal, the wicked groove, the explosivo solo from Mr. Malmsteen. The track is Enemy.
Good too.
Are you familiar with this?
I
mean, the groove of that is so...
Yeah. That's a good album.
It's a really, really underrated album, and I was loving it today. I got, why am I not listening to this album more? So I'm going to actually play some Facing the Animal on the show tonight for folks.
Perfecto.
On the radio show.
Awesome.
In case you missed one of these or two of these tunes that I mentioned, I wanted to... And that'll give us a chance to promote this show on my show. So
that's right. There you go.
It's all full circle. But Enemy, check that track out. When this album and this singer... I think of all Yngwie singers, and we all know how problematic lead singers can be, but
that's something called LSD, right?
Yeah,
has nothing to do with the drug, people.
Yeah, the lead singer's disease looms large, and
I think Yngwie knows all too well about that.
Yngwie, Eddie Van Halen, George Lynch, Jeff Young,
Richie Blackmore.
Richie Blackmore. I mean, it's a phenomenon. But this singer, of all his singers besides Soto, and Joe Lynn Turner's cool, but he gets a little featherweight for me sometimes. I like this guy a lot.
Yeah,
Mats, hats off to Mats.
Yeah, he's a good singer. He's done quite a lot of different projects over the years. Very good singer. I like him quite a bit. All right, my number 8. We're going to go to the Eclipse album, and I'm going to go back to another kind of real groovy, kind of almost Hendrixy type tune. Bedroom Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great tune. I'd forgotten how much I like that song. Because generally what I do when I do these top 10 songs, I go and I listen to almost every album. Mm-hmm. And sometimes some of these albums I haven't heard in a while, I'm like, that tune. I remember how much I love that tune and haven't heard it in 2-3 years or whatever it is. But yeah, Bedroom Eyes. Great hook in that. And the fact that's got, who the hell's singing on it?
That got some radio play.
Yeah, it did. And that's got Goran Edman on vocals, who is another great Swedish vocalist. All these guys. I mean, it's just So many good ones. So that's number 8 for me. So number 7, what do you got?
I'm gonna go way obscure from the 2016 release that I like, also very underrated. I'm very fond of World on Fire, and the track that I'm going to offer up for your listening perusal will be Duff 1220. DUF.
I'm not sure I've heard that album.
Dude, you got to hear it. It's
Yeah,
a really
I'm not
cool
sure.
instrumental. And for people, like someone posted in the poll today, nothing after 86 or 87.
He's got some good
Let's
albums.
not be ridiculous. And,
Yeah,
people with... he can be a little bit aloof. Let's use this. But I think it's greatly exaggerated. I know I got photographic evidence that Cat was cool as hell to me when we hung out backstage on the Alcatraz tour, and we'll talk about that more later on. But he's got great work that is past Rising Force, in his first couple albums, and it can be spotty, but I mean...
Well, he's got a lot of releases, and all of his albums have 12, 13, 14 songs, so yeah. But there's...
And he's an artist like AC/DC, very different artist, but it has a niche. It's a niche, and they don't evolve and change, and their albums progress like some bands, for example, like Rush, who went through different iterations. Yngwie has his trademark thing, and within that, I think he's branched out, but always kind of keeps that neoclassical with some blues underpinnings,
which he's doing more of on recent albums. And I'm assuming that's now that album that you're talking about from 2016.
World on Fire.
Is that the one where he did all the vocals?
No, not yet.
No, okay, so that's more because he's done a couple more recently. Okay, gotcha. I haven't listened to any of his albums post the last one with Ripper Owens, which was Relentless. I haven't heard any of the ones after that. All right, so we're number 7. All right, so I'm going to go back to the Odyssey album, and
that's odd.
Yeah, back to the Joe Lynn Turner album. How about the kickoff track, Rising Force?
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Heavy. It's epic sounding. It's got great riffs. It's got a killer solo, and I love Joe's vocals on that. So and it's I remember seeing them on that. In fact, I saw them twice on that tour, and I remember they played that live, and I was like, oh, this is fucking great. But so that's my number 7. So back to Jeff for number 6.
I'm going to the Odyssey album, oddly enough.
Cool.
For a double shot, because the first bit is kind of an instrumental opus.
I know where you're going with this.
Or interlude, if you will. Bite the Bullet into Riot in the Dungeons.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That is really cool.
And the chord changes, and I think that Joe Lynn Turner comes off really good on that one, going for a little heavier, vocal.
Yep.
So Bite the Bullet, Riot
in the
Dungeon.
I dig it. I like that whole album, actually.
Yeah.
All right, for my number 6, I'm going to go the Trilogy album.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Mark Bowles on vocals.
Mark Bowles on vocals. A hell of a nice guy, by the way.
Now residing in Las Vegas and can often be seen in Raiding the Rock Vault.
Oh, really? Okay. I met him when
Vegas
he was
rock show.
When he was singing for Uli John Roth. I met him in New York City. All right, so my track from that album coming at number 6, You Don't Remember, I'll Never Forget. Which also got some radio play.
And the MTV video was really cool.
Yeah.
And it was on Headbangers Ball and beyond on MTV quite a bit.
Yeah, I dig it. It was a good song.
Yngwie was cool in that era. And he really crossed over and got a lot more people coming into this kind of shred.
But keeping it kind of commercial, right?
Yeah. Driving riffs, not getting too, especially on a song like that.
Yeah.
Keeping the rhythms and showing what a great rhythm player. That's something you'll notice on the Light Up the Sky track. What a great rhythm player is. The solo's really blistering, but I mean,
when he wants to be. Because there are times where he gives the impression like he doesn't want to play rhythms; he just wants to play leads.
Yeah.
But he's a very good rhythm player. I agree. All right, we're in the top 5 now. Here we go. The Moments of Truth.
This song is so cool, and I know you're in the Sea of Tranquility live battles. I don't know if this album was a contender, but it's a great live album. It's Yngwie Malmsteen Double Live Volume 1, people. And this is a mean, wicked track. Just the groove on this track. It's the opening song of the album. When it appears on Facing the Animal, it's called My Resurrection, but on this album, for some reason, it's only called Resurrection.
It's Resurrection.
Resurrection, Yngwie Live with Matt singing, Double Live Volume 1.
I don't have
that.
I'm sure it's great.
I'm playing it on the show tonight. It's bomb, dude. Cool. I believe I am. Yeah, that fits a spooky music theme, Resurrection.
Why not, right?
The solo, the way the solo flows in, it's a really well-constructed track. And I love how in the chorus, Yngwie's going between rhythm and a really fast, melodic, classical scholar burst, and between the vocal, and it works so well. This is state-of-the-art Yngwie Malmsteen on this track, Resurrection, and it's great on Facing the Animal, but really hear how heavy and how impactful it is on Double Live Volume 1.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I don't know if I have any live Yngwie.
It's great. He's got a live in, because he's living in Florida now. He's got one live in Florida as well.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of them he's put out in recent years.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, hold on. I lost my place.
Number 5, Mr.
Number
Pardo.
5. All right, number 5. I'm going to go to Marching Out, which is actually my favorite Yngwie album. Marching Out and Odyssey are my two favorites. Soldier Without Faith.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
Heavy, dark, very kind of rainbow, Blackmore-ish, I think. That whole album for me kind of is like...
Kind of rising influence.
Yeah, big time. And I really like JSS, Jeff Scott Soto, on that album. I think he does a great job.
Fine vocalist. I've worked with him myself on some stuff.
He's really
and
good,
boy can sing.
He can. And I think that was even his Yngwie days. I think was before he really kind of found his voice. Because if you listen to those old Yngwie albums and you listen to some of the stuff he's done in the last 10, 15 years, he's definitely, his voice has changed a little bit. Probably
he also couldn't show a lot of his influences even back then, because I worked with him right on the heels of that. Like Mr. Cool and some of the stuff on my Reverb Nation page.
Yeah.
Sam Cooke. That's Steve Perry. That's why he ended up in Journey.
Yeah.
For a lot of people who don't know Jeff Scott Soto, he didn't have that Steve Perry voice, a lot more husky, but he loves that Sam Cooke, Motown, and obviously wasn't able to do that. But I mean, he was really given more of a metal tinge of his voice on the Yngwie stuff, and did some really cool stuff. I got some Rising Force Ahead here that I really love his vocals on.
Yep. So that's my number 5, Soldier Without Faith. Great tune.
Okay.
Number 4.
We're coming into, all right, we're on my favorite Yngwie album. I mean, I was just getting ready to move to Hollywood to go to GIT. Literally, the album was released months before I moved, and my mission was to figure out as much or all of that album, and I ended up skipping a lot of class at MI and sitting home with my cassette player and figuring out Yngwie and keeping my roommate up till all hours of the morning.
Sure, right?
You know, with the sounds like the phone's ringing in the bedroom all the time.
Guys trying to say,
and he's like, Jeff, he'd come in, it's like 3, 4 in the morning, he'd come in the door so polite, because he gave me the bedroom and he took the living room as his bedroom. He'd come in, sounds great, man, sounds great, but I think you can turn it down. And that's, I gotta see. But I got a lot of that album, and I got the video proof to prove it. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the Alcatraz 84 album is just, it's a lot for me. I spent a lot of time dissecting this entire album on more than one occasion, not just back in 84. Actually, on my YouTube, there's a cassette demo of when I was going to GIT. So this is 1984. It's a 4-track Fostex bedroom demo of me playing 4 or 5 of the Yngwie solos from this Alcatraz album, so you can hear me playing those back in the day. And this song isn't on it, but this song I think is so well constructed as a song. The chord changes are so original and unexpected. Graham Bonnet's vocal on the record is amazing, and the solo, just the whole melodic flow of the song. And I'm going to give you Star Car Lane. ladies and gentlemen.
That's a good tune. Yeah, it's an underrated track.
And so original, this track. I mean, that's really one, if you've never heard Yngwie or never really got into him, and that's got that. I thought that could be a huge hit in a different world. That would be a huge radio hit right there.
Yep, that's a good one.
It's got a lot of emotion and passion in the
does.
vocals. Just think of that pre-chorus into the chorus. Oh,
it's a favorite of Grant's. I've heard Grant say that's one of his favorites.
Yeah, you did.
All right, my number 4. I'm going to go back to the first Rising Force album, Black Star.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of have to have that up there somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. That's brilliant, right?
I put it in my honorable mentions, but I'm leading into. We're getting close. There was an '84 demo. I think it's the demo that Yngwie sent to Mike Varney that prompted Varney to get him over here, and then Steeler. Black Star on that's crazy, and Yngwie's playing, I think, all the instruments. Yeah. It's crazy cool.
It's a great tune. All right, number 3. What do you got?
I'm going to the Rising Force album with Jeff Scott Soto, and I love this tune. Another tune that should be a huge legendary radio hit. His vocals are cool, going from like hard rock radio friendly with some really cool metal vocals. A lot of these metal shrieks and screams to me come off pretty corny, but Soto does it so cool in this song, and this song is Don't Let It End.
It's a great tune.
It's Amazeballs.
Yeah, that's a great marching out tune.
A wise man once said.
Yeah. Don't Let It End is great.
Great.
That whole album, the whole Marching Out album is just so damn good. That didn't make my top 10, but it's in my honorable mentions. I love Don't Let It End. That's really, really good.
There's another one that's great. That's on honorable mentions. That's right. I was kind of warring between Don't Let It In and in this tune that we'll mention here in a minute. But I had to go with Don't Let It In. I think that's just a beautifully written song. It has some radio-friendly stuff, but the way Yngwie weaves the classical motifs in there is so clever. Just really ingenious.
Yeah, I agree. It's great stuff. All right, my number 3, going to go back to the Odyssey album. Chris Caffrey, you watching?
Chris, I saw that's his favorite.
Chris, this another one for you here. I love this tune. And again, I think it's just another great way that like Joe Lynn Turner and Yngwie work so well together on that album. Deja Vu.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
Memorable as all.
You're going a little radio friendly.
Well, I like
Pete's going a little lighter today on me.
I mean, I got some heavy stuff.
Heavier.
Well, you know, but I like a lot of the hooky Yngwie stuff. I always
he does write great hooky stuff.
He really does. Yeah.
And it's still always heavy.
Yeah.
It never wimps out.
Yeah. Right. And I love the chorus on Deja Vu. It's just a great tune and a killer solo.
Yeah. Always.
All right, the top 2. Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's see. Are we going to match anything here? Let's see. So far we haven't.
This song is amazing, man. This song's got to be in the top 3, and it's from the 1984 original Yngwie demo that he did back in Sweden, the Mike Varney demo, and I think he's singing it. Now Your Ships Are Burned. I mean, it's great on the Yngwie Rising Force album, but I'm partial to the I just have so much nostalgia and GIT memories, locked in my bedroom, and but that riff, I think that's one of his. Dude, forget that's. It's one of the baddest guitar riffs in history. If you did like top 10 riffs or top 20 riffs, that has to be there.
Yeah.
Now Your Ships Are Burned. The Mike Varney demo, 1984 Yngwie demo that got him.
I don't like Jeff's vocals on the Rising Force album. In fact, I'm not a big fan of the scope of Soto's vocals on that album in general.
The one with Black Star, you think he got better on?
I think he's much better on Marching Out.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear
Yngwie. It's on YouTube. Yeah, check it out later.
I'll have to do that.
Check out the original demo for Now Your Ships Are Burned with Yngwie.
Because it is a very cool tune.
He can sing certain things.
Yeah.
He can sing Smoke on the Water, which is my number 1 Yngwie song. No, just kidding. No, from the new album, right? But he can sing certain things.
Yeah.
Right?
He just shouldn't be singing whole albums. I don't think.
The pronunciation
Yeah.
with the Swedish thing can get dicey, but on the songs that he sings well, like this song, I thought was great.
My number 2 is a song that I'm amazed that you haven't picked, but that's okay. It's probably in your honorable mentions, I guess, and it's my favorite instrumental by him. Always has been. From the Rising Force album, the debut, Far Beyond the Sun.
Yeah. It's in the honorable mentions.
That's awesome. I used to listen to that song to death back in the day. I remember going away to college in '84 and like playing that album all the time. I lived with like a bunch of deadheads and guys who were just not into this stuff at all, and they're like, "What the hell is this you're playing over and over and over again?" I was like, "It's Yngwie, man. It's Yngwie." You know. So that's
cheers to that, people. Cheers to that.
So that was my number 2. All right, the final number one from the both of us. I'm gonna grab some.
Now then,
as well.
Well, it's got to be from my favorite Yngwie album, and I invite you to come check out. I love this song so much. I did a note for note rendition on my YouTube. I think this song has everything in it. The opening riff, it's slower than dun, 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 but it's got that. It's that memorable. It would also be on the Best Riff show. It's got his classical bit, but just the solo in the middle. It almost has that same vibe as Eddie got on Push Comes to Shove on Fair Warning.
Yep.
It's got that Demiola vibe, and we're talking about Bigfoot. From Alcatraz, No Parole, from Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
It's going to be my number 1 Yngwie tune.
Wow.
The solo has everything, and I got some history with that tune.
Okay, I'm not gonna knock anything off the Alcatraz album because I love it.
Every track on that album is a winner. I'll kill her, no filler.
All right, my number 1 is the first thing I put on this list because it's been my favorite Yngwie song since the day I bought the Marching Out album. And I love it because it's heavy. It's got a killer solo. Soto's vocals are amazing, and it's just...
Is he on a big boat?
He's on a big boat, and he's a fucking Viking.
Yeah.
I am a Viking.
I got it in the honorable mentions.
I love that song. I love that opening riff, and it's just... That tune is so, like, kind of doomy and heavy, and I just... And the solo is epic.
I could have put it up there, but I had to put some more obscure stuff like the Duff 1220 and My Resurrection, maybe some things, Enemy, that'll get people to check out stuff other than I'm a Viking, because that's one of his signature tunes.
It is.
Because he is a Viking.
That's why we love having Jeff on the show, because he likes to bring in all this kind of like offbeat stuff, which is great because, again, how many of these tunes have some of you never heard before, right? And so that's...
we got more offbeat stuff.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, fire off some honorable mentions. Go for it.
Also, off Alcatraz, I got to give it up for Too Young to Die.
That's a great tune.
Too Drunk to Live.
Yep.
Great tune, great solo. That could have easily been in the top 10, but I just Star-Car Lane and Bigfoot.
Hiroshima Mon Amour, man. I love
that's
it.
there. That's on my YouTube channel, and that's on my YouTube channel, me jamming with Graham Bonnet Band.
Yes.
So you can see what
Great
I don't know why that would ever have happened, but Krina Curry really.
Oh yeah.
That's probably his best single solo. I mean, if this was just Yngwie's solo, that would probably be number 1. Bigfoot, Krina Curry. It's a toss.
Can you imagine if we just decided to do an Yngwie solo show?
Solos?
Forget the songs.
It would go on for days. And then from Rising, I did I'm a Viking, sorry for Marching Out. And On the Run again.
Is great,
On the Run is killer Soto.
Yeah.
Killer Jeff Scott Soto.
I agree.
The song Seventh Sign. And the lyrics to that song, go check out the lyrics to how prophetic it's, I mean...
That's a good album.
The book 1984 or Animal Farm. It's all right there in that lyric. And if you look at the comments on the video on the YouTube, everyone's really resonating with the lyrics on that tune. And I wanted to mention that on the Facing the Animal album, it's Cozy Powell on drums. And
which I think was his last recording right before he died, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to urge folks to check out. There's an album Yngwie has. It's the best of his instrumentals. So some of the instrumentals that you mentioned that I didn't put in my top 10 are on this, plus more. I could have named several tracks. So I'm just saying the entire Yngwie Malmsteen instrumental best album. Highly, highly recommended.
Yeah, how could that not be great?
Yeah, it's really, really brilliant. The song Brothers. I mean, just so many things on that are cool.
All right, so let me see some stuff we didn't mention on my honorable mentions. So from the first album, As Above, So Below, Icarus Dream Suite, Opus 4. Gotta mention that one, right? It's a great one. Little Savage, great. From Marching Out, I dig I'll See the Light Tonight. Another kind of, it's a great tune, you know. I got Don't Let It End, Disciples of Hell, Anguish and Fear. The title track, Marching Out, is a killer instrumental. From Trilogy, Queen Is in Love, Liar. You should have played that on your show last week.
Yeah.
We missed that one somehow. Fire is another great tune. Trilogy Suite, you mentioned. From Odyssey, Hold On, Heaven Tonight. I like Heaven Tonight. Another
it's
MTV.
A cool MTV Headbangers Ball
it is.
and Beyond video.
Dreamin', Crystal Ball. I almost put Crystal Ball in my top 10. From Eclipse, Judas is great. Making Love, Demon Driver. From Fire and Ice, Teaser, and All I Want Is Everything. That's another kind of Hendrixy tune. I got My Resurrection on here from Facing the Animal. Braveheart from Facing the Animal. Heathens from the North from Facing the Animal. That's a great tune.
That was killer. I almost put that on.
That's a great tune. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's right in the I'm a Viking vibe.
Exactly, yes.
It's right in that same
that
dirty
kind of Swedish, Norwegian vibe. Yeah, yep. And then I got a couple tunes from the Tim Ripper Owens albums, which I like. Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse from Perpetual Flame, Damnation Game, 11th Hour, and from Relentless, Critical Mass, Enemy Within, and Relentless, the title track. So a lot of great shit. Jeff's got some really cool stuff here. So
that's the honorable mentions, people.
Yep.
So
you tell the story, I'll show the pictures, right?
Yeah.
So we're going back to when?
This is the Alcatraz No Parole from Rock and Roll tour. Perkins Palace. I was going to GIT, keeping my roommate up, figuring out Yngwie, and I got to hang out one-on-one. The guy you see in the background is his guitar tech. And you might see a little sticker on the guitar in some of the pictures that says, "I don't give a fuck what you heart." His tech brought that in and he stuck it on there and we were all laughing. He was really cool with me. I got to see his picking approach up close and personal.
Yngwie playing a V. You're not going to see that too often.
You know, for all the things people say about Yngwie, I mean, there's the photographic proof, and these are the two best pictures right here. He was just the coolest cat to me, and that was cool early. That's the one right there. Very cool. He was showing me all the tricks and wasn't holding back, and it was like a guitar lesson right there backstage. And he had to go on, and he didn't need to give me any time.
Right, but he did, right?
Yeah, I was hanging in there like 20, 25 minutes. It was
pretty cool.
Amazeballs. Let's just show this. You'll see Yngwie Malmsteen up on the top there. Eric Johnson right there, and Alan Holsworth, all from the MI era, or from my GIT era.
You got to put that in a frame.
Yeah. And of course, we got plenty of Yngwie on tap. You know, and don't forget, probably two the best fast guitar players out there, right there on that cover.
Yeah.
We'll take you to shred school.
That's right. That's right.
So lots of great memories with this cat, and if you want to find out more of about my jam with Graham Bonnet and what became the revamped Alcatraz, they could check out the show last week's Music Without Boundaries back episode.
Yep.
Has some interesting tidbits about my time in Megadeth.
Rat.
Some time jamming with in the cellar.
Yep.
With some rats.
And they can find the video you jam with the Alcatraz guys
on my YouTube at youtube.com/JeffYoungTube. You'll find the Bigfoot solo, and there's even there's Hiroshima with Graham Bonnet Band, just a snippet like the intro, doing the solo note for note, and then how about some Michael Schenker Desert Song from Assault Attack?
That's right, yeah.
There's a big long snippet on my YouTube channel jamming with them.
Yeah, very cool. Awesome. So that's our Yngwie Malmsteen show, top 10 songs and a lot of other stuff. So this was epic, 35 minutes, but I think it was very cool. It went so quick. Did it feel like 35 minutes? Holy crap. I looked at the counter. I was like, Jesus. I figured it was like 10 or 15.
I think we got time for pizza.
I think we have time for pizza before we start doing a little radio show. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. I want to thank my good friend and compadre over here, Mr. Jeff Young. You will see him again. We're going to go do that radio thing tonight, but Jeff will be back. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get you back for some classic live album war round 2 coming up, starting next week. So stay tuned. Go check Jeff out on YouTube as well as jeffyoungjams.com for the radio show, and we'll see you guys real soon. Thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace out.